Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we have got my September Destashify makes and fabric haul. I've got two fabrics here on the chair to show you guys. I realize it's October 1st. With the release of this pattern, it all kind of got pushed and we had to rearrange and do some get kind of clever. But it's only October 1st, so I don't feel too bad like we've missed it by that much. So anyway, I am showing you three things. Two things that I made up with my fabric for September, and then one that was left over from August. And I showed you it as cut out pieces. My hardware finally arrived, and I was able to get it made up. So I have three things to show you today, and then two fabrics as well. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing, and you guys saw this last week. Is that right? Anyway, this is the Ladera by Itch to Stitch, their newest pattern, and I am so obsessed with this dress. So this is a silk jacquard, which what that means is that there's a print on the dress, but if you look really closely at the fabric, there's like a print within the texture of the fabric as well. So there's spots that are kind of charmeusey spots, so shiny, and spots that are a little bit more crepey. It's definitely a fabric from 1992, I feel like. The colors and the pattern tell me that, but I absolutely love this dress. Also, as a side note, when we were setting up these mannequins, Jenny goes, "Oh my gosh, this looks like an ad for," wait for it, either United Colors of Benetton. Do you guys remember that store? Yes, you do, if you were a teenager in late 80s, early 90s, or even late 90s-ish, or an ad for Esprit. I said yes, and I'm absolutely here for it, which I thought was really funny. But this is definitely a more of a retro print with the silk. But I'm just loving this dress. In fact, Jenny and I just had some professional pictures taken for the website and for some class plans we have and all that kind of stuff. And we were even taking some pictures preemptively for the holiday season, just so we have some stuff in stock, in the back stock for social media and all that kind of stuff. And I'm wearing this dress in some of them. And Jenny was like, it's just you. Like, this dress is just you. Like, the colors, the brightness of it, it's just the fabric. I was meant to have the fabric. And I'm like, I completely agree. And like we've discussed this again last week, so I'm not going to talk too much about the pattern itself. You can go back and watch the video for this pattern release if you would like. But I just think it's so chic with the little tie that's in the front. I love the buttons that I picked out for it. It's very comfortable, even though it's got some waist cinching here. It's not uncomfortable waist cinching because I get very sensitive into my midsection just with my autoimmune issues, and I find it very comfortable to wear. I will be rocking this all fall and probably a little bit into the winter. It is silk, so it's a little bit thinner, but like I mentioned, I think if I'm wearing it layered, that I might be able to get away with wearing this into some of the colder months. I absolutely love it. The colors, everything about it just makes me so happy. So this was the first thing that I made with my fabrics. This fabric is just delightful. I love it. So that was thing number one. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I actually made this first. This is this was the fabric, the hand-woven fabric that I got in July, I guess, for my August makes. And I had the bag all cut out and interfaced and everything else, but the hardware for it had not arrived. It took a little bit longer to arrive. Well, I probably didn't order it in time. But guys, this is my Madrid bag from Seamwork Patterns, and I love it. It's just a really easy little tote bag. This is part of Seamwork. I mean, if you get their unlimited patterns, then you have access to it. Or if you've got some credits, if you're a member of theirs, you can buy it separately as well. There's options. But I am absolutely loving this. So I used a thrifted dress for the suede on this. We cut up a thrifted dress. Jenny has a bag, the same pattern cut up to make up with some of her precious fabric, actually. And yeah, it's just really, really good. I lined it with the same fabric on the inside because I had plenty as well. But it's just a good little like library tote bag. You know, when you want to be able to carry your library books in and out, or just anything really. I just think it's so cute. I got the strap, the pre-made straps, and the little magnetic snap from Emmeline bags in Canada. I don't do a ton of bag making. I kind of feel like maybe I should though. But there's a whole bunch of fun little accessories and stuff to buy with bag making. And I have made some bags this year. You know, my Simply Classic bag that I made. So I have been doing a little bit of bag making. And I used some of those leftover interfacings that I had from that project, which was my computer bag, to do this one. But I'm absolutely loving it. And all of the colors go right along with my fall capsule wardrobe. So if you recall, these are the colors I'm using for my fall capsule wardrobe. As Jenny calls it, the crayon box. But yeah, my little tote bag goes perfectly with all of that. So I will be color coordinating no matter what. So this got made up, and then this one was made up. And then finally, my little A-line skirt. So you guys came in clutch with ideas of A-line skirt patterns to use. I had a whole bunch of recommendations, including there was a free one from Maison Fauve that I was looking at. It's got a really cool like seam line in the center of it. That's kind of like a wave, kind of. It's really cool. Anyway, I was really looking for a faced skirt pattern. So instead of having a separate waistband, I wanted a facing on my skirt with just like an A-line. We're calling it a mini skirt because it's above the knee, but you know, I'm not going too mini on this. Well, you'll see in a second. But this was the faux purple suede that I got with my Destashify money last month, I guess, in August, to then use up in September, to then make up in September. Yes, that's correct. Anyway, I was looking and kind of searching around. I was just really wanted something with a facing. I just find facings much more comfortable on my midsection. Number one, they don't cut me off as hard because there's not two like horizontal lines that are cutting me off in the middle. And number two, I just find them more comfortable on my, like I said, my waist can get sensitive just with my autoimmune issues. So if I'm wearing something like pants or even like skirts and stuff that are sitting at my natural waist, I find a facing more comfortable than a waistband. I do wear waistbands, but I do find facings to be more comfortable. And as I was searching, it dawned on me that I had the Itch to Stitch Quebrada skirt pattern, and I just had not made it up. So I bought that when they had, I wasn't able to test that one, and I bought it when they had a sale, I don't know, a while ago, and just kind of forgot that I had purchased that one. Anyway, it is a A-line skirt that uses a facing. And what's really cool is that, hopefully you can see, it's got all these different little panels all the way around the skirt, which make it perfect for leather skirts. Because when you're working with leather, a lot of times with real leather pieces, you'll notice that that there's a lot of seam lines because they are trying to use as much of the leather hide as possible. And sometimes that means getting pieces into little bitty spots in order to cut out all the necessary pieces. So whether it's a suede hide or regular hide. So that gives the feel of leather. This is faux. This is absolutely polyester. I mean, it's got like a shiny backing to it, so you don't even need to line it. But I wanted the look of it being real. I also have a pink thread on there. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. It uses a facing. It's got a real simple zipper in the back, and I did do a slot zipper. I have this pinned onto the mannequin. I'll show it to you in a second. I do have this pinned onto the mannequin though, because I'm a little bit bigger than my mannequins, but I digress. So there are two views for this. There's one that is really close to a maxi, and then maybe midi, and then one that on Kenneth looks like it hits right at her knee. Typically, I take 1 inch off the skirt or any bottoms that I'm making with Itch to Stitch, but I just went ahead and made the shorter version as is, and then tried it on, and it was long on me. It came below my knee, which again, I usually have to shorten the skirt patterns an inch to get them to hit where they're supposed to hit. but I wanted this to be more mini. I actually ended up taking off the shorter length, 6 inches off the shorter length to get it to come, just a couple inches above my knee. Because I am envisioning wearing this with sweaters and tights and, my little lace up boots or my zip up oxblood boots or even tennis shoes. I have a lot of thoughts on how I can wear this skirt. But I did end up taking 6 inches off to get it to the hem length that it is now. This thing sewed up in no time at all. I cut it out with my projector. Make sure you label your pieces, which I did, because they all look very similar. And you've got 6 different pattern pieces that go around the body. So one center piece that gets cut on the fold, and then 2 of everything else of number 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. So you just want to make sure you label all those. And then in the back, you could do an invisible zipper, but I went ahead and did a slot zipper because this is a little bit thicker fabric. I went ahead and did just a regular standard zipper. So there's a slot, and I actually had one that matched this fabric perfectly. So it pays to have a stash of random zippers. And then I did a hook and eye up here at the top. For the facing, let me clip this really quickly so that her skirt's not falling off of her. For the facing on this, so I sewed it right sides together, understitched it, turned it to the inside, but because there's so many seams all the way around the skirt, I just stitched in the ditch on each of those seams all the way around. So I don't have to have the top stitching, to stitch that facing down, but it's going to stay down because it's literally tacked in place in like, I don't know, 10 spots. So with all those different seam lines. So that is going to work. That works perfectly. Let's see, what else? I serged all of my seams before I sewed them together. I didn't use an iron on this hardly at all because of the polyester. I did lightly iron the facing to the inside, lightly ironed the hem before I stitched it down. But with all of my seams, I just, like I said, I serged each of the pieces before I sewed them together. And then I finger pressed the seam allowance open and I top stitched on either side of the seam, which is something that you see a lot in leather because you can't press leather. So I went ahead and did that little detail as well, which keeps those seams nice and open without having to be pressed. So aside from the, this is not staying at all. Aside from the facing and the hem, I hardly touched this with the iron. I did use fusible interfacing for the inside of the facing, and then also I did a little strips of fusible interfacing for each side of the zipper, just very carefully with the press cloth, and I think everything turned out well. I'm very excited about my little A-line skirt, and you're probably going to see this a lot because I have quite a few sew the looks that I want to recreate with an A-line mini skirt. And those, I think, sew the looks this fall are going to come more in shorts as opposed to just a video on the channel because I want to reuse a lot of the pieces. And it doesn't make sense for me to do a full video where I'm like, and here's the skirt again. But it, for a little short and that sort of thing, I thought that would be kind of fun to do it that way. So anyway, I cannot wait to play around with styling on my faux purple mini skirt. So that is that one. And I was so excited to find a pattern I already had in my stash. I didn't have to buy anything. And that being said, that is the same for these 2 fabrics that I grabbed. So I have grabbed 2 fabrics with for Destashify this month in September. So these will be made up at the end of October. I got just this really pretty cream or ivory colored rayon jersey. It's a very nice quality too. Just because I wanted to, I don't know, I've got cream t-shirts, obviously, and that sort of thing, but I wanted something a little bit different. So a cream shirt that I could easily layer, but that could also be something that's not just a t-shirt, like a beyond basic knit top, if you would like to speak in everyday style terminology. And I think I have 1.5 yards of this, which is plenty for a t-shirt for me. And shortly after receiving this, I'm holding this incorrectly, the cashmerette pattern came out for September, and it is the, so the newest cashmerette pattern for this month, their club pattern, is the Kenwin, and it is a raglan style t-shirt, but it has a wrap, and like a faux wrap in the back, But and Jenny is very good. Jenny from Cashmerette, not my Jenny. Very good about saying it could be worn on the front for some, not all. So it just kind of depends on the shape of your bust and where it's positioned and stuff. But both Jenny and one of her frequent models, who I think is one of her employees, both were able to flip it around and wear the wrap in the front as well. So we will see. But even if I can't wear the wrap in the front, even if the wrap has to stay in the back, I still think it's a really cool looking shirt and I want to make it up. And I think it could be very chic in this cream. I'm thinking it could be really cool paired with my my green bias slip skirt for the holidays. Just some really fun jewelry. It'd be lovely if I had my cream Metro Blazer still that I destroyed that in April in New York. Need to recreate that. But I think that there could be some really fun options for working with this and making a seemingly easy outfit look really chic. So that is what I'm doing with this fabric. So it's kind of a boring fabric, but with really high potential, I think. And then this is the really cool fabric. I grabbed this. It is a wool, it's got a twill weave, but I think it's almost like a challis, wool challis. So this is more of like dress weight wool. It is narrow. It is narrow, but I have 5 yards of it. Does this not scream Ralph Lauren? It feels so preppy to me and very classic, but look at the colors. So remember my color palette for fall, all the bright colors, which is basically this bright dress here. But look, it's a cream background, which is my best light neutral, and it's got all of these beautiful colors in it. So it's got, won't get too close, the cobalt blue, so like the dark blue. It's got my red in there. There's a little bit of a dark green. It's got the golds. I think this is stunning. And it's nice and thin enough so it's dress weight wool. Now, I will wash this in the washing machine with a wool wash. I use soak, which is what I use for my hand knit sweaters as well, and on a delicate cycle. And then I will let it air dry. So that is how I am going to deal with the yardage. And then going forward, we don't want to dry this because it will felt a little bit. But going forward, my garments will be washed on a delicate cycle with the wool wash and then hung to air dry. So that is how I'm going to deal with this. And I probably will throw some Shout color catchers into the wash as well, just so none of these vibrant colors bleed onto the cream background. I mean, I'll put it in by itself, but I just want to make sure nothing bleeds. So that is how I'm going to launder this before I cut into it. But I was going back and forth and trying to decide what I thought this would be really beautiful garment. And I kept coming back to shirt dress, and I've got shirt dresses. But I'm like, oh, what kind of shirt dress do I want? I've got that Minerva, if you recall, if you've been a follower on the channel for a while, I made the Aria shirt dress by Love Notions and added a ruffle to the bottom and a similar feeling fabric. It was a navy blue background, but it had like the chains and stuff on it from Minerva. And I wear that one quite frequently. So I didn't want anything too close to that because I feel like the fabrics feel enough alike. I didn't want two really similar dresses. So I was doing some research and trying to, decide, do I want to do a wrap dress, what I want to do. And I was reminded of the Pattern Scout Vivi shirt dress. So if you recall, maybe it was earlier in the summer, maybe June, July, somewhere around there, I had some really beautiful orange and pink plaid, like a Madras plaid. And I had made the Pattern Scout Vivi shirt dress. It was too small, so it wouldn't button. It's a beautiful dress. I still have it. I have not gotten rid of it, although it's not getting any closer to fitting. So it may end up being going to a better home. But I thought, you know what? I want to retry that dress. I want to size up on it because I feel like I'm really going to love it. It's got the camp style collar on it. I'm going to make the maxi again, just like I did before, but I'm going to do sleeves on this one. So the one that I did this summer, I did the sleeveless version, and I want to do the version with sleeves. It's a kind of a little bit more fitted sleeve and then kind of has almost a French cuff on it a little bit at the bottom, which is kind of cool. So that's the cuff that doesn't have buttons. Instead, you use, what do you call them? Cufflinks. Cufflinks to close them. Obviously, I'm not going to be using cufflinks, but it's just kind of a fun nod, like masculine nod a little bit. Anyway, I thought, well, this will be cool because I can try that pattern out again, let you guys know how it worked out by choosing a better for me size, and yeah, hopefully get a really fun wearable dress out of it. And with the long sleeves, I think this would be a lot of fun to layer, especially my cream colored sweater vest that I knit for myself. I think that would be really beautiful over this. It's a little more, it's not as yellow as the fabric background is here, but I think it could work. I don't know, it's worth playing around a little bit. Or even just pairing a sweater over top of it so it almost looks like a shirt and skirt. Anyway, I have a lot of design styling ways that I could use this fabric, and I already own that pattern as well. So I'm looking forward to delving back into that and trying to get a dress that fits me and that I really enjoy wearing, because even though this is a very thin fabric, it is still wool, so it will be naturally wicking and really comfortable to wear even in the coldest of months. And I've got like a bright cobalt blue sweater that would be beautiful over this. I've got a yellow sweater. I have a olive green sweater that I think would go really well over this. I have a lot of options. So I'm excited to play around with this. So those, and again, I've got, even though it's really narrow, I have 5 yards of this. So I've got plenty. Plenty. It's time to wash all of that. So there we have it. Those are my 3 makes for September and the 2 fabrics that I grabbed as well. So you will see those 2 fabrics made up at the end of the month. We are in October. Very exciting. I have 2 18-year-olds now. Their birthday was just this last weekend, which is crazy. And, or as you're watching it, their birthday was this past weekend. So anyway, yeah, lots are happening here in my household, and Ginny and I are busy working on this Intro to Garment Sewing class. So that's happening a lot in the background, and college applications are also happening in the background. There's a lot going on, but if anything, I need sewing now more than ever, and I need the weather to cool down. So if that can also happen so it actually feels like fall and I can wear my fall things, that would be fabulous. Okay, guys, that is all I've got for today. I hope you get some sewing in today or this week, and I will see you guys again next time. Have a good week and happy sewing.